Hey. Welcome to episode 273 of Awkwardly Awesome Podcast. This episode is entitled Unyielding Possibility. And my guest today, he he lives by this idea of having just tremendous possibility. No, okay. um, let's back up here. Take two. Which you're not quite supposed to do in an introduction, but it's what I'm doing right now. So the title of this episode is called Unyielding Positivity. And and, and I would say that leads to a great deal more possibility too. So maybe it's okay that I made a mistake and misread the the title of the show I created. I created right off the bat. And my guest today can also talk a lot about things not always going as planned and having to adapt. And he has a lot of wisdom in him. You're going to want to take notes. He's really a superstar, and I'm honored that he's returning to the show. I'm so excited to bring him on, but first this.
Today's guest, Philip Gintowt.
Hey, Phil Gintowt, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jason. It's good to see you again.
I'm so glad you're here. So, what do you think about the mistake I made at the beginning, which I hope be fortuitous? Does unyielding positivity lead to greater possibility?
Yes, I thought that intro was awesome. It was well done. Um, as we know, no one's perfect. I think when we're honest about our mistakes and our mishaps, people have a better understanding of us.
When that you're already laying down nuggets. When we are honest about our mistakes and mishaps, people have a better understanding of us.
Yeah,
That honesty can be so challenging sometimes.
it can be. I think now people, with AI and everything up, technology, we have to be perfect. And I think that not being perfect and misspeaking or saying words that doesn't sound right um, makes us human. Uh,
Mhm.
so it's as much as I love AI and using I kind of like going on a rant and kind of speaking the way that I kind of got taught. See, yeah, I don't, I don't know what I'm saying right now, but it's nice to
Uh,
know
uh,
um, that when you do make a mistake, like I just did, that you can laugh about it and not take yourself so seriously.
And sometimes our mistakes lead to interesting questions and possibilities. What do you think about the idea that came from my mistake, the unyielding possibility, unyielding positivity leads to greater possibility?
Um, I think that knowing yourself and knowing that you don't take yourself seriously and people see that you're a great guy and so what, you made a mistake, so what, those I don't know how many subscribers you have, but let's just say 100,000, or a million. um Half of that is gonna just see you're a great person. So, and then the other half, who cares what they think? You just it. What really matters is about yourself and how you take yourself and how you see yourself and what have you done in the morning. Like this morning, I went for a walk. It's a beautiful day out, and I'm just thankful to be alive, thankful to be on your show again, thankful to um, have another day because tomorrow's never granted, and you gotta live life to the fullest. And you know you can't be worried about tomorrow, like the Fleetwood Mac song. Don't stop. um so yeah, you just gotta keep pushing.
For people who didn't see your first show, where do you live, and will you tell a little bit about your background, please?
Yeah, so it's a shame that you didn't watch this first episode. It was awesome. uh, I live in San
Actually,
Diego.
awkwardly awesome, Phil.
Yeah, awesome. Also awkward. um So yeah, I live in San Diego, and I had brain tumor the size of grapefruit, and I had two eye surgeries. Both got delayed. Well, the eye surgeries were twice, and eye surgery two times. Then brain surgery got delayed three times, and it was kind of a surreal moment. Um, Getting delayed three times, it kind of not knowing what's going to happen or not knowing what was um, why was the biggest not realization, but the biggest mystery of like why the nurse gave me the wrong medicine the first time. The second time there was enough people in the ER, and the third time the doctor had a family emergency. So all valid reasons, but I guess something that big, um, you got to have all hands on deck, and I'm glad it finally got done.
But in the moment, it must have been so. Part of you must have been so frustrated. Like,
Um, Frustration is the right word. It's more unsure. I was scared. As hand up, being alone and being inside my mind is a scary place, because I have so many thoughts, so many things like everyone else. Especially the first time surgery got delayed. My best friend Jake would often text me, and um, we FaceTime and text or called, and just he would make me laugh as he usually does. Um, and it was those moments that got me through it and kind of knowing that everything was okay, and I was more scared about the surgery because it's something that big. Um, Besides a grapefruit on my right side, and um, I didn't know who I was going to be. I didn't know if I was going to be still Phil, lovable, funny, the best, or if I was going to change somehow and the brain to the nerves, something was going to change. But whatever it came out to be, um, I was going to embrace it head on. Um, just like now, I have some disabilities that I can't do certain stuff, but it's I know my limitations and I know what I can and can't do, and I've been doing a good job asking for help about certain things, regarding my disabilities, which has really been a mature part of my aspect because I'm very um, independent of let me do this, but since I have some limitations, I can't really do it.
The, there's so many questions that came up from what you just said. I wish I wrote notes because I wish I had because I have 10 questions. I hope I remember them. But first of all, you said you had eye surgery too.
Yeah, I had eye surgery. So during the recovery process, the ICU, my eye was itchy. Like normal people, I scratch it, scratch it, scratch it. So I actually scratched my cornea. So I
Oh,
needed two eye surgeries because the first time it didn't heal all the way. So there's a scar on my cornea. So it made me blind, made me uh, semi-blind or blind. Um, so I won't go into the detail about the surgeries because I saw that look, but um, it was I don't recommend it to people. You can Google it how they do eye surgeries, but I wouldn't recommend it.
it is without going into detail. Was there a lot of pain involved with it?
No, not at all. But you are awake though. That's the only nugget I'm gonna share with you and the audience is you're awake.
I guess what I mean was that pain before the surgery.
Um, my eye was red, so I would put in eye drops. I couldn't. It just felt like it was dry, like
Huh.
something like dust in your eye, and you couldn't get it out. Um, but because the where the tumor is located, my whole right side. So I have, thankfully, at the gym, I have some strength back, but um, my right side of my face is a little numb, semi-numb. I'm deaf in my right side, so if anyone wants to say anything bad about me, I just turn my ear that way so people can hear me. And I just say yeah. So
So then do you remember any of the ways Jake made you laugh?
yeah, um, just moments that we had. Um, when I visited him in Tampa and Austin, just little moments, little inside jokes that we that I did um, when I was younger. Um, yeah, he's the best. He is honestly my best friend. I'm glad I met him. Um, we've been best friends since first grade. I was actually one of his groomsmen at the wedding in October, so it was this past October. So that was a very surreal moment. Um,
Mm, mm,
to be a groomsman at your best friend's wedding, which
mm.
has if people have a best friend, it's a lot. Um, so I'm just glad that I was on the list of good people. So it kind of I like talking about myself, about how good of a person I am, but it was kind of like a good tip of the cap to myself that I stay true to myself, and um, I'm a decent guy, even though I make mistakes along the way. People are so accepting, and people still love me for who I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm. And not only accept and love you, they want you front and center on the biggest day of their life, or
Yes,
one of the biggest.
yeah, and I do clean up pretty well. So I haven't made that my Bumble profile yet, but um,
And you do pretty well.
I dress pretty nice in a suit. So
Nice.
I was looking
You clean up
dapper.
there.
I was
Awesome.
looking dapper.
Yeah, dapper Phil. Dapper Phil. I asked about what you and Jake talked about before your surgeries, because sometimes when I go into a hospital to see a friend, I think I need to be all serious and stuff, because they're going through a serious thing. But it sounds like what really helped you was just being able to laugh with Jake and tell inside jokes.
Yeah.
Can you say more
Yeah.
about
So yeah,
serious?
yeah.
Yeah.
So gosh, when I was 13, um, his dad needed to get an oil change, and we're living in Bluebell outside of Philadelphia at the time. So me and him were just hanging out. He gets a phone call that he's got to pick up his dad. So his dad takes us out for lunch. So everyone orders sandwiches, and I look at the menu and I see filet mignon. It's like 10:30 in the morning. So I'm like, why not? So I order a filet mignon, and the waiter's like, okay. So it's like a $45 filet mignon, and his dad's picking up the bill. So the funny joke is, still, that I don't have enough money with interest to pay off the filet mignon. So that was one joke that he said, that if I get out of this, I gotta pay back his dad for the filet mignon. So that was one. Um, the other one was, we were down in Austin, on Sixth Street, and there was live music playing. So there was a guy coming out of the bar that bumped into me, and so I didn't see him because so I just spin, and I spin perfectly that I caught someone from falling. So like, because
What?
I no, not like caught someone like Superman, but kind of like I turned this way and kind of raised someone from falling, hitting the head. So it was, I don't know, call it act of God or whatever, but it was kind of, um, I was dizzy. I was like, where am I? But um, so that was,
So if that would be like a amazing scene in a movie.
yeah. I don't, I still don't know what the details, but I basically was like this, and um, some girl, I don't know if she was falling, but I don't know. I don't know. I still don't know the details because it
Wow.
was, what
Wow.
was that, 2017? 2017? 27, yeah. So before the brain surgery, so 27, yeah. It was after, it's like Halloween weekend in Austin. So I don't know. It only having half a brain. Your memory is like Groundhog Day. You wake up, you do the same thing. I don't know. Yeah. I know the filet mignon story because I that's it's burned in my memory. So I'm still trying to get layaway still trying to pay that off with the insurance, inflation, and everything like that. So
Oh, yeah. Mm. I mean, something to definitely work towards paying that off.
I gotta, if not, I gotta at least put it in my will. Give them like a couple grand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. um, ta- talk about a mistake, Lily. Saving someone from falling. You made a mistake that Austin and that saved someone. That saved someone from falling. It's an amazing story.
Yeah, I I don't I don't know. This is I guess I was there at the right time. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's it's crazy. It's one of those things that I'm glad that I lived a great life. I have been fortunate to know some great people like yourself and
Mm.
Thomas and a lot of people who tune in and are very excited to watch this. But I'm also fortunate to have people open doors to give me a platform to talk about, my disability and my my life journey, which I'm still on at 35.
Since you mentioned the word disability, how do you relate relate to the term in your own life?
Yeah, disability either um, visible or invisible, it doesn't define us. It makes us a better person. Um, we all have disabilities in life. None of us are, excuse me, totally perfect. Um, how how we work around it, how we go about it every day is something more amazing than not. Um, Even in my early stages of little Phil at first grade, I was in special ed. I had a speech impediment, um, so I couldn't say my R's. So luckily, being from the East Coast and having family and friends from Philadelphia, I kind of um, used the East Coast and kind of from Boston, kind of from New York, and kind of can play on the words of I'm from the East Coast, so it doesn't matter how to say my R's or not, and I just kind of own it. Just I'm glad I grew up on the East Coast because I don't know what would happen if I grew up somewhere else. So Phil from Kansas sounds like he's from Boston, but he's not. He's not. From anywhere near Boston, or he has no family. The only thing that I can point out is I like Goodwill Hunting. If I grew up from Kansas, like Goodwill Hunting is my favorite movie, just because it's from is Boston Title
Mm.
or Ted. Um, you know that movie is from Boston. The Departed is from Boston. So many movies in Boston. The Town. Have you seen that movie, The Town? I watched The Town last night.
No, I haven't
It's a
yet.
great movie, Jason. But yeah, so luckily, uh, I use that as a crutch. I'm glad I'm from the East Coast too. Um, I think the work that ethic that I have, I think just my humor and wittiness kind of symbolizes on the East Coast. Um, I might not be politically correct or straightforward. I'm very straightforward with people. Um, but the straightforwardness too was I was in speech class from like first to junior year of high school. And I was getting pulled out of classes, and I had to work on my R's, and it was a pain in the butt. Anyway, so I just told the teacher, my speech therapist, I was like, listen, I don't care if I can't say car, if I can't say, water or whatever are in at the end of words or in between words. Like my studies are more important than being able to talk to someone, being able to say the word car. Because like this whole podcast is about making mistakes. It's okay if I can't say a word. You're gonna get the message. You might not
Yeah.
understand the message, but you're gonna make an effort of um, trying. And I think that's what when we talk, we need to try. We can't just like give up because I think that's
Mm.
what I like the I didn't elaborate this on the first episode, but when I lived in France, when I was speaking French, I tried speaking French. They knew I was American. I would try if I said a word wrong or whatever. They understood I tried. Try to speak, French or try to speak Spanish or try to speak English. And I think that if you try to say what you want or get a message out, as long as you try, I think you should have some patience with people. I think patience is what we're missing out of a lot of things, especially humor. But I won't go down that hole.
Patience in terms of humor. What?
Just like patience as like when we're not patient with one another, we're very impatient with people. Like when when technology doesn't work, we expect it to work. You know, so I think giving people some grace and
Mm.
understanding that we're human and we're
Mm.
not we're not perfect.
Um. It is powerful. Eh, eh, um. So many ways I could go with the questions. What? So I went to speech therapy. You survived longer than I did. My speech therapist wanted me to continue, but by the time fourth or fifth grade, I'm like I'm done with this. I don't want to do it anymore. But but what would you say you learned about perseverance and about doing tough things from going to so much speech therapy?
Just just hopefully one day that it would click. Would be able to say my hours. Just um, just at the beginning, I would zone it, because I would. It was required, like because I wasn't 18, so it was part of my IEP to get speech. Um, and then when I um, started missing out on like important um, classes or like lectures in high school, and really, uh, even though I was in special ed, um, I want to make an effort to do well in the classroom. That was my always biggest initiative was to be just because I have ADHD, just because it takes me longer at math, which I'm not a math guy at all. Thank goodness for calculators. Um, I wanted to try. I wanted to put my best foot forward and try and see if I could
Mm.
compete with with the people in AP, which they have no social. They do have social skills. I was gonna make a joke. But that's it. But no, I wanted to see if I could keep up with them, with the smart people, and missing time out of class was kind of a hindrance. So I persevered, but I was like, okay, I gotta get it done. I gotta get it done. And then at some point, I was just like, I'm done. I am done. So just like everything in life, you gotta persevere. You gotta figure out the end goal. Um, everybody takes a lot of crap, and it's just you just gotta keep pushing. Gotta keep
Yeah.
pushing. Gotta keep pushing. Gotta keep pushing. So you gotta look at the silver lining, right? You gotta make yourself do find one thing in life, well, one part of your day that makes you truly happy. If that's going for a walk or listening to a podcast or me ramble on for an hour and a half to take time out of your day, yeah, it's just you got to find one thing that makes you happy. So
What has been the one thing that makes you happy recently?
um, I'm yeah, just walking, on the beach or kind of checking out the waves and kind of uh, watching watching the watching a random dumb show. Watching like um, if I need something that makes me laugh, put on like Jersey Shore and just put that on for like 10 minutes and just laugh at those people. um, yeah, I mean, just every day I'm happy. I'm never upset or never frustrated for too long because life's just is hard enough. Why you got to make it harder? Complaining about stuff or what about the future, and you know, you gotta not take yourself seriously, even though it's hard. Hand up, I take myself sometimes seriously, but I know a good balance. I know a good balance of, I would say, 9% of the time, I'm funny. I don't take myself seriously. Then the 10%, I gotta take myself seriously because if people think you're a goof, yeah, people are not going to take you seriously in life, and um, where I want to be is to be taken seriously. Either that's at a TED talk or that's becoming a motivated speaker. That's starting a foundation. I gotta I gotta be taken seriously at some point. So I can't be funny all the time.
So you mentioned I mean that's quite a balance to strike. Like Phil, you are just naturally. I mean, you have great humor. Just it goes on and on, and then at the same time, you your intention is to be taken seriously, to be seen as a professional.
Yeah.
Can you say a little more about how you're learning to balance the two?
Absolutely. I think there's a time and place for everything. I got taught
Mm.
that by my parents. There's a time and place for everything. So, I can't be funny Phil when I'm in front of people asking for money to start a foundation, or um, I can't be making um, Phil jokes at a function like this. I it's hard because sometimes I slipped. I think I slipped in this episode because my brain went half off and I kind of made a Phil joke with the AP.
The jokes you made have
Yeah.
been funny and tasteful. They've been great, Phil.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's like a dinner, I was Phil at dinner because I knew we were with friends and everything, so I knew where we were, so I have to tone it down to like a 7. Yeah, 7. Um, can't turn it all the way down to like a 5. That'd be miserable. I don't think no one wants to see that. No one does want to hear that. People might unsubscribe if I went down to a 5, which that would be bad. Um, so I think time and place. I think knowing your audience and knowing who listened to you, because it's just human nature that everyone wants to be listened to. So if you
Mhm.
got a 35-year-old guy making jokes after joke after joke, people are gonna be like, okay, what's up? Like, is he ever serious? And I think that's the big one, is finding that balance of joking, seriousness, being being um, professional, but also uh, showing yourself and not hiding behind something.
Well said. Well said. You mentioned the word foundation, which reminded me you have a vision of starting a foundation.
Yeah, I do. Um, the names, it's still working title what the foundation is, but it would be a foundation of people that either um, have or had uh, brain tumors, um, small, big, in between, and just getting support, either um, mental support, which is huge, um, physical support, for jobs or some type of resources, and just awareness of like everything getting tested. I think that's like the phrase now that everyone wants to say, getting tested. Like we're like, uh, but it's um, because my story is just one of many that have um, a brain tumor or some type of um, mental mental disability. Um, Luckily and thankfully, I'm semi-normal. So I'm one of those people that's struggling, and if I can help out one person, um, that's what I want to do. I want to, like I told you, I think being a TED, I'm very grateful that I'm talking to a TED Talk speaker, because that'd be amazing to share my message and try to help one person, like you do, um, on a daily basis of this podcast. And you've always been good about when I text you and asking you for advice, and you're a great teacher. So if I can be that person to someone, that would mean a lot to me.
I definitely see you getting a TEDx talk someday soon. I mean, that 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 audience would be in for a treat if when they announced your name to come up and you started talking, they be in for real treat.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully that happens soon. Um, I gotta I gotta find someone to nominate me because I do a bad job of hyping myself up and saying why me and really like presenting myself as a person that wants to speak because you know unless I get invited I'm not gonna highly talk about myself just because I think the brain surgery is interesting, right? Like that's a tip of the iceberg, but underneath the surface, like this guy, I don't know, you know, he he might be funny, but I don't see it. So I don't know. Yeah, I just still don't think I'm funny, which um I have a few issues of just self doubt, um, that everyone has, but I haven't yet got to that recognition. Like I can't take a compliment still. I can't. I just be like, thank you, and just move on.
I would say like humans, like every human, part of being alive means that we are going to experience challenges of all shapes and sizes. Like so many different stories of challenges and more challenges. And to me, you kind of give a blueprint, the unyielding positivity. You kind of give a powerful blueprint of how, like, you didn't choose to have a grapefruit. It's not a path you would have chosen to have a big tumor in your head.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have chosen to have seizures as a kid.
Hmm.
You wouldn't have chosen to scratch your cornea.
Yeah. I
A-
mean, yeah.
and even though all these circumstances that you didn't choose came into your life, you could have gone the direction of anger and bitterness and just being constantly frustrated and constantly sad. But instead, you've chosen a far different path. And I think humanity needs to hear that message over and over again that we do have the freedom to choose, that we do have the freedom to create brilliance out of adversity, which is what you're doing. You I mean, you're writing your next book. You want to start a podcast. You dream of starting a foundation. You're just creating and creating and creating, and so many people, including me, need that message every day. Yeah, you should be on a t- you should give a TED talk.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind. Of course you should.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And I truly mean it. It's hearing those words and having someone resonate how good of a person you are. It's kind of um, yeah, it means a lot. See, this is not like I'm trying to take it for what it is because you're a good friend, and it does mean a lot. But also, you're right. We do choose to be happy or to go through the day miserable. We get out of bed and we decide the minute we wake up. Okay, it's gonna be a good day today. Yes, the job I have, I may or may not like. You know, it's I gotta find, like I said in the past, I gotta find one thing. If that's having a cup of coffee, if that's petting your dog, if that's calling your best friend on the driveway, if it's listening to this podcast, you gotta find one thing that makes you truly happy. Because so many people, are miserable. So many people are just like, oh, like I get it. You know, people don't live in Southern California. People, live in,
They live in South Dakota, Phil. They live in the
I know,
so-called South Dakota area, and right now we are having a blizzard, Phil. Right now we have snow on the ground. Right now it's really windy here, Phil. And
I know.
you're in lovely San Diego.
Hey, I grew up in Philadelphia, so I miss the winters. I miss freezing. Uh, I'm actually
You miss freezing.
I'm actually can't wait until I'm planning a trip in October to see a Philadelphia Eagles game in October. So I mean that's gonna
Mm.
be it's still gonna be nice. Um, I do miss the cold. Um, I was back there 2 years ago for a wedding in January, and it was cold, and I loved it, and I miss it. Um, I know shoveling, is a isn't the greatest, but it's one of those things that I do miss about the East Coast and the Midwest and South Dakota is the change of season because San Diego it's like 77 degrees out right now, and it's sunny, and it's nice right now, but I miss when it's like September, October, November, when leaves are changing. You're starting to
Mhm.
get that nice little like frost in the air. Like when you step outside to get the paper, walk the dog, you're like, man, it's cold. You know, so I think yes, if I get an opportunity to go back east or anything that has a change season, sign me up. Sign me up. I will be miserable for 4 months out of the year. Um, I won't miss San Diego. I I'm more of a people person, so as you know. So as long as there's good people around, like Chicago, I wouldn't mind
Mm.
moving to Chicago, somewhere in the Midwest. Um, I haven't
Chicago
heard.
is a great city.
Yeah, I haven't been to Chicago, but I heard Chicago's awesome. Um, Even going back to Philadelphia would be awesome. That would that would be a full circle moment. I would actually cry if I got an opportunity and I got a job and everything happened, and I would just be happy because that city. Um, there's not a bad thing I can say about the city. I know. Sports fans, Philadelphia get a bad rap, but we're the best fans. I love Phillies fans. I love Eagles fans. I'm not a Flyers fan anymore. I'm not a Sixers fan because those teams just can't win and they just frustrate me with their organization skills. Um, that's another episode. That's gonna be on my podcast about talk about Philadelphia fans and every other fan base. But yeah, we might be jerks. We may boo Santa Claus. We may throw snowballs. We may heckle is a good term. Opposing teams, but hey, just don't wear your team in our stadium. Just don't. I will say why. just don't. Um, but yeah, that we're blue collared, hardworking. Um, they taught me who I am uh, growing up and kind of going into the city with friends and family and kind of embracing Philadelphia. And Philadelphia has always done a good job of welcoming me with with open arms every time I go back. Um, it's you get off that plane, you're in that airport, and you can hear Philadelphia, and it brings you back. It takes the stress away. It takes the anxiety. It takes whatever I'm feeling in San Diego. Um, it blows it away. And even when I see Jake down in Austin, it's when I visit him, you know, everything goes away for a while. And when I come back here to sunny San Diego, it takes me at least a week to get acclimated back to proper California culture. That you can't say some things that you can say back east because yeah, which I won't repeat, but yeah.
I hadn't expected to go here, but like winter could, I suppose, be seen in a way as a disability at times, especially when you've been in it all winter. Like it's colder to walk outside. The shoveling, nothing is growing, and yet, Phil, you speak nostalgically about the Four Seasons. Winter is miserable in some ways, but then in other ways you have a deep love for winter. It's really interesting, huh?
I think winter is yeah, winter is my favorite holiday because you have Christmas, which is family well, you have Thanksgiving. So can we count November as winter? No, because that's the fall. Anyway, but you have Thanksgiving, family, and then you roll into Christmas, which is family. You
Mm.
know, so I think a lot of great memories happened in winter too because you there would be, believe it or not, kids, there was something called snow days, where snow days were there would be snow on the ground. You wouldn't have virtual learning. You would sleep in, watch cartoons, good cartoons, not SpongeBob SquarePants, but cartoons like Ren and Stimpy that they can't make anymore for various reasons. Uh, and like snow days were the best. You would go sledding using a sled. You would be on your smartphone. You would go to your neighbor's house, knock on his door, or I would just walk in. I'm sure it's frowned upon, by the way, but don't leave your garage door open, or just don't become my friend. Anyway, uh, you'd have a snowball fight, go sledding, play football. You would be soaking wet from the snow. You get yelled at for track them out of the house. Um, just yeah, it was like it is one of those magical times that if you haven't experienced the four seasons, it is definitely on a bucket list. So winter, fall, summer, and then my last one is spring. Because yeah, spring is like it's overrated.
Oh, well, I mean that's another episode. Let us arguing about which season we like best, but
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
won't get into that. I love
yeah.
spring.
Oh, you know?
Spring
Okay,
weather.
okay. So then I won't be invited on next time because I just bashed spring.
Yeah.
That's it. For doing it 2 times and he's done. Cut it off.
Strike to yeah, no. So Phil, can may I read you a brilliant quote by a brilliant man. How do I say your last name again?
Gintowt.
Gintowt. Actually, this quote is by a brilliant man named Phil Gintowt.
Yep.
Okay, so just sit back and relax, Phil, and I'll read it, okay?
Okay.
You can't give up. You got to keep fighting. You can't let the people around you down. We all have disabilities in life. That's what makes us. That's what makes each of us special. None of us is truly normal. Look around. Everyone has hardships of one sort or another. It's the people who have dealt with the hardships and never give up that are successful. Have the impact they want to have and no joy. Keep going. Phil, that's beautiful.
Wow. I don't know who said that, but that guy needs a pat on the back.
Yeah, pat on the back, and that guy needs a TikTok.
He does. I'll pay good money to see that guy. Good money. $5 a ticket.
Well, if you look in the mirror, you can see that guy, but please send me the money, okay?
Yeah. That's
No,
yeah. You be my publicist. You should do like a duo TED Talk.
do a TikTok. Oh, and
Yeah.
that's actually a neat idea.
Yeah.
But seriously, do you have any? That quote was each time I read it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But what more do you have to say about that concept?
Yeah. I mean, I truly believe it. I truly love it. People, excuse me, I deal with hardships. You know, it makes us stronger. It we succeed because we know what the rock bottom is. We know um, how to preserve. No, real? No. I see.
How to
Anyway,
persevere?
yeah. Thank you. See, I misspoke too. And I think that's what makes us special. And I think everyone does have a disability. Either it's mental, or physical, whatever. I think that no one's normal, and I think that that's what makes us all beautiful. Is we go about life of having a disability and knowing that we're gonna be okay with it, and we can't give up. We can't give up. We like you said about winter, about a time being miserable. It's only temporary. You gotta look at further down the line at the life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. If life was a sprint, we would live to like 40 back in like the Wild West days with it's it's a beautiful thing. Life is a beautiful thing. People are beautiful, having great conversations, like what we did. We were goofing off, and you brought me back to Seriousville, so Seriousville is now on. But the sense of having conversation and relating to one another about certain stuff, about winter, about I don't know, about why people hate shoveling the sidewalks, and they got a snowplow because anyway. but it's just one of those things that you can't give up. You always gotta keep fighting. Rocky Balboa was a fighter. Sure, he may have lost in the first movie, um, but he won in the second movie. And then when he with the Russian guy, Draco, whatever, I stopped watching out this second one. No, Mr. T. It was Mr. T. Yeah, it was Mr. T, which was the bad one. Anyway, um, anywho, Rocky fought and he fought and he fought. That's a
Mm,
guy that knows how how to appreciate life. You
mm,
know,
mm,
everyone should appreciate life for what it is. It's not just because you had a crappy day at work or you had a crappy day of whatever. You're gonna get up the next day. You're gonna choose to have a good day or not. You're gonna choose to listen to me. You're gonna choose to pay money for a TED talk. I'm gonna choose to either give it out for free or charge you money. I don't know. But my point is, I should have got to my point earlier. But my point is, there's many phases of life that we go through, and it's a
mm,
roller coaster.
mm.
And you just gotta wait till the right moment. You just gotta keep climbing that mountain. Because at the end of the day, the only one's gonna make you happy is yourself.
That's well said. So well said. In Phil, I have another question for you. What season comes after winter?
Spring.
My point exactly. Spring is number one. Number one. My point exactly.
You got me, Jason. Totally
In
got me.
all seriousness, I ask all my guests this, and I asked you this before, but I'll ask you this again. I talk about the power of doing our imperfect best. What that means to me is I envision the best I want for myself and to give the people around me, and I go for it. And then when mistakes come up, obstacles come up, uncertainties come up, instead of being stopped by that, I try to learn from that, all that, and go again forward. What does doing your imperfect best mean to you, Phil?
Um, kind of like what you said. I know that's a tap out, but I think not take yourself seriously. It's a short answer without copying what you said because that was incredible. That was a wordsmith answer. Um, yeah, I think just not taking it seriously and just owning the mistakes that you have and not knowing and knowing that you're imperfect and you shouldn't try to be perfect. Um, you should just accept any flaws you have. Heck, I have a bunch of flaws, but I accept all my flaws and I just go through life that people accept my flaws for who I am, and if they don't, oh well, gotta find new people. It's not that big a deal.
Well said. Well said. Thanks so much for being on again. Thanks so much, Phil. And
Thank you.
please, I'm going to end the show now, but please stay on, Phil. Okay. And everyone else, thanks for tuning in. I I I just felt my gut uplifted after talking to Phil. Just like what a powerful perspective. even in the face of everything that goes on in life, we can choose. We can choose to live with appreciation. We can choose to live with as much positivity as we can muster on any given day. We can choose to be happy. And yes, it's an awesome responsibility. But what but but the gift is we get to live our lives. We get to enjoy our lives. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about. What are you thinking about? Please comment if you want. We love comments. And tune in next week. Or if you're watching this 300 years from now, go back to past episodes. And thanks for being you. You are the best. You are the only one of you that has ever existed or ever will exist. I urge you to rejoice in who you are, both the gifts you have and the challenges, and go forward in life. Thanks for being you. And smile.